Hey everybody, Geoff here, cello instructor at Triumph Music Academy. Coming at you today with another Free Lesson Friday. This one is particularly for beginning to somewhat intermediate cellists out there, or any string players really, but I'm going to demonstrate it on the cello today. So the tips I want to give today are about enhancing your scale practice and adding a little bit of variety to scale practice. So these exercises that you can do, I think, touch on a lot of things, like ear training, being able to pick out harmonies in the scale. It works on your finger dexterity, and it kind of lays the groundwork for being able to improvise. And they also work really well as just general warm-ups to do before you start playing. So what I want to focus on today is a D major scale, and we're going to do a single octave scale on the cello, and we're going to use our D and our A strings for that. So if you're a beginning cellist, this is probably one of the first scales you've learned. So here's what a normal D major scale would sound like on a cello. You've probably played that before, or certainly heard it before. So the first little exercise I want to show you is pretty straightforward. I think it focuses a lot on ear training, being able to pick out harmonies, and also it helps you with left-hand intonation. So what you want to do is just add the root note, or the D in this case, in between every note of the scale. It's pretty simple. It sounds like this. Now obviously you can start that slowly and then work your way up to speed. The next one I want to show you is a little more complicated. So this one I kind of think of, if you were to think of it visually, it's kind of like a leapfrog scale, if you will, because you're going to be jumping over certain notes. So if I were to number every note of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you'll go from the first to the third, the second to the fourth, the third to the fifth, and so on and so forth. So in the case of a D major scale, we'll go from D to F sharp, okay, and then E to G, F sharp to A, G to B, A to C sharp, B to D, and then because we're only doing one octave, you'll just go C sharp to D. So this is the only one that doesn't jump over a note of the scale. Same idea back down. D to B, C sharp to A, B to G, A to F sharp, G to E, F sharp to D, and then E to D, because again we're only doing one octave. So up to speed, that would sound like this. And of course, every time you could go a little faster. And you'll want to start slow and work your way up to speed. If you want to add some more challenges to it, you can add in things like slurs. There are a lot of different variations of these you can do for practices or warm-ups, or just to add some more excitement to your scale practicing. So the last thing I'll say about any sort of scale work practice is that it's usually best to not use any vibrato. And the reason for that is because you want to make sure that you're having accurate intonation with your left hand. It's easy to disguise that a little bit with vibrato, and I know it can be tempting as string players to add beautiful vibrato to every note we play. However, when you're doing scales, it's usually best to not do that. This has been Geoff, the cello instructor at Triumph Music Academy. Please visit our website, triumphmusicacademy.com, to set up your free in-person lesson, as well as subscribing to our YouTube channel where you can see all of our free Lesson Friday tips. We're also on Snapchat and Facebook, any social media out there. Please follow us and subscribe. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.